the Trump party. And so you have 46% of the folks saying that they will follow Trump. I'm like, okay, there's the door. Y'all go do your thing. And we'll just pick up the pieces on this side and keep moving.
That was Michael Steele, the former head of the Republican National Committee, who's reacting to a new Suffolk University and USA Today poll that indicates that a pretty sizable percentage of Republican voters would literally leave the party to go join a third party that's led by Donald Trump. So according to that poll, 46% said that they would abandon the Republican Party, while only 27% of Republican voters said they wouldn't drop the GOP. The rest, though, are undecided. While 54% of those polled said that they were loyal to Trump, only 34% said that they were loyal to the party. So in regard to current Republican voters, they're far more loyal to Donald Trump and are willing to leave the Republican Party on Trump's behalf, than the number or percentage of Republicans who are unwilling to do that. It is the party of Trump, and Michael Steele thinks, okay, great. If they want to leave and go to a third party, that's fine. Have at it. But I don't know if he should be so confident. I mean, no. What do you think, Cenk?
Yeah, he doesn't get it at all, man. And Anna, this is the same thing we see on the Democratic side. So back in 2013, I said Bernie Sanders could beat Hillary Clinton in 2016. Everybody thought I was the craziest guy that they'd ever heard of. Bernie Sanders isn't going to get more than 2% in 2016. And as it turned out, he almost beat her. Why? Because people don't like the establishment. And then I said Donald Trump has an excellent chance of beating Hillary Clinton. People are like, oh, you're crazy, Cenk. Everybody loves establishment politicians like Hillary Clinton. Do you know Joe Biden only won by 43,000 votes in 3 swing states? Trump would be president.
Crazy.
43,000 votes, that's it. They almost put Trump back in charge of the whole country, okay? No, Michael Steele, you're not getting it. It's his party. You're a tiny, tiny minority in that party. But since they're all elitists, and since they're all so arrogant, they sit on Morning Joe panels and guffaw, like, oh, go ahead and leave. What difference does it make? You idiot. Your entire party's gonna leave. It already has left. So let me give you more numbers to absolutely positively prove it. And these guys are so in their own elitist bubbles, they can't even read a poll. They have a war on math. So the people that were polled, 85% of them said that they would vote for Trump in a general election again. These are Republican voters, 85%.
Amazing.
Oh, Michael Steele, enjoy your 15%. You're a joke. All of you are a joke in Washington, okay? And 76% of them said they'd vote for Trump over any other nominee in the primary, in the Republican primary. It's not like, we'll hold our nose and vote for Trump because he's our option. No, 3/4 of the party says, yes, give me more of that violence. I hate democracy. Give me more of that fascism. Give me more of those lies. I love it, I love it, I hate, I love it. Michael, that is who the Republican Party is. That's what, remember Michael Steele used to be the head of the Republican Party, the Republican National Committee, right? And he apologized for the Southern strategy. He was one of 2 former heads of the RNC that did it. What is the Southern strategy? It is to get racists in the South to vote for Republicans instead of Democrats. You built your party on racism. You should not be surprised that 3/4 of your party says, I love the racist guy. That's not the bug, it's the feature. Okay, to give you a sense of how much the Republican Party has lost its mind, 58% said that it was not Trump supporters who did the Capitol riot on January 6th. It was Antifa-inspired attacks. There is 0 evidence of that. No one from Antifa. First of all, Antifa is not even an organization, but okay, call it an organization. I don't care, okay? It was not Antifa, it was not Antifa inspired. No one from Antifa was there. It's just totally made up. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Only 28% thought it was Trump supporters. No, the entire party has lost its mind, and they're filled to the rim with hate and fear. So that's it, guys. That is who the Republican Party is. The mainstream media will lie to you for another 4 years at least about how the country is center right. It's not true. And they'll lie to you and say that the Republican voters are wonderful, genteel people with different opinions and that they don't actually like Trump. When they keep screaming from the rooftops, We love Trump. And that's what they did in this poll again. So I guess I'm smarter than everybody on TV because I can just read. Like all I do is read.
So Cenk, I actually want to read a quote from one of these Trump supporters who said this: "We feel like Republicans don't fight enough for us, and we all see Donald Trump fighting for us as hard as he can every single day." And that's from a small business owner from Milwaukee. So he's kind of explaining his logic and reasoning for wanting to leave the Republican Party if Trump were to start a third party and be the one who leads it. But I actually wanted to bring up something that I think can help inform why people feel the way that they feel, right? Because I mean, we know the details of what Trump actually did. We know about how he only used his position of power to enrich himself and also pass tax cuts for the rich. But remember, you used to do that segment, that Loser Donald segment. And I remember talking about the fact that he went bankrupt over and over and over again, thinking that maybe it will persuade people to realize that he's not this successful businessman that he's like really selling himself as. And there's an author, I was listening to an interview, and this author wrote a book where she spent a lot of time with Trump supporters to kind of understand their thinking. And Cenk, we forget, I mean, it kind of shows you that we also are in our own little bubble. A lot of those people who support Trump went bankrupt themselves. So they see his 6 bankruptcies not as a failure, but as something that makes him human, something that makes him relatable, something that makes him more likable. So I mean, it's interesting to think about it in that context, because for us, it was more about trying to debunk this image that he built for himself that was, of course, built on complete lies. But a lot of his supporters know that he went bankrupt, and they actually like that about him because they see him as someone who was able to fail so many times and then rise back up and become the president of the United States. Like they have seen him as some sort of hero, and they see that as like a reflection of what can happen to them. Like, I'm going bankrupt, I'm going through these tough times, and look what Trump was able to do, and he's fighting along with us. That's the way that they see him.
No, so first of all, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I'm going to agree with it. Just a shade of a difference. But first of all, just so we're clear, in case you guys don't know the reality, he's fighting just like you, and he went bankrupt 6 times, and then his dad gave him $413 million. Okay, so no, he's not just like you. But that actually goes to the point that Anna's making, and that I'm making. The establishment doesn't get it because people hate you so much that they would go to an obvious con man instead. And so they take those pretty little lies about how he's made it all by himself after his dad gave him $400 million and go, at least he's not a regular politician. They despise regular politicians. By the way, I will actually, this is now a stunning turn, right? But if you've watched the Young Turks, it's not at all stunning to you because I hate the establishment this much. And I'm right about it. I will give the Republican voters credit because at least they sniffed out that the politicians and the media are full of crap. They were right about that. You guys figured that out before Democratic voters did, okay? Unfortunately, you then took a massive turn you should not have taken, right? Then you went, oh, okay, they're full of crap. So the answer must be that the Democrats are eating babies and George Soros is a puppet master. And it was the black people and the brown people and the Jewish people and the Muslim people that were the problem. No, it's the donors. It's the donors. It's the corruption. You're right when you said drain the swamp. So what does that lead to? Right now, in that same poll, 8 out of 10 Republicans said that they are less likely to vote for a Republican who did not back Donald Trump in impeachment. So that's why he was acquitted again. That's why he controls the party. That's why people who voted against him will lose their primaries, because the ugliness of Donald Trump is partly the ugliness of the Republican voters. But they're so sick of regular politicians that they say, that guy who can't even read, at least he appears to not be fake, even though it's so ironic Because look at the lie he sold them. 73% of Trump voters now think that Biden didn't actually win the election. He's a pathological liar, and they believed him over everyone else in the establishment, because that's how much they despise the establishment. And the establishment still doesn't get it, still thinks Hillary was a wonderful candidate. She could have won if it wasn't for the bats, the Russians, the flying saucers, and the rain. And Joe Biden crushed Trump, and we should nominate someone just like Trump, just like Joe Biden again. All of it is wrong. All of it is wrong. And if they don't learn, then not just someone like Trump will win in 2024. It might be Trump who wins in 2024. So that's how disastrous the state of the Republican Party and the country is.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.